One of gaming's messiest messes is the mess of the Wonder Boy and Adventure Island games. Starting with Sega's 1986 arcade hit Wonder Boy, the timeline was immediately beset by this world-altering SCP Keter event. You have spin-offs, remakes, reskins, insane naming conventions, double sequels, multiple games with the same series number, re-releases using the names of other games, ports, and so much more, spanning across just about every gaming platform you could imagine. This is pure insanity, and it makes my head spin just thinking about it. So get a coffee, sit up straight, and try to pay attention. We are exploring the absolutely bonkers timeline of Wonder Boy, Adventure Island, and more. 1986, Arcade, Wonder Boy. The OG game in this convoluted mess of games. An arcade hit developed by Escape, who would later become Westone, and published by Sega. The game has received an incredible number of ports throughout the years, and also got a modern-day high-def remake developed by CFK. The main point of the game is to run right, avoid or kill monsters, and eat fruit so your time bar doesn't run out. Simple, old-school platforming goodness. 1986 Nintendo Famicom / Nintendo Entertainment System. Master Takahashi Meijin no Bokenjima / Adventure Island / Hudson's Adventure Island. Adventure Island began as a port of Wonder Boy for the NES. While Westone owned the rights to the game's code, Sega owned the name Wonder Boy. Hudson Soft opted to use a caricature of spokesman Takahashi Meijin, later Master Higgins, as the new character. Adventure Island plays almost identical to Wonder Boy and is basically a reskin. 1987 Arcade, Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Weststone's arcade follow-up to Wonder Boy would be Wonder Boy Monsterland, later renamed to Wonder Boy in Monsterland. The game is an action-adventure side-scroller with light RPG mechanics. While there is still a timer, it's not nearly as intense as the one from Wonder Boy. The focus now is to gather gold and purchase weapon and armor upgrades as you advance through the game. Monsterland abandons the jungle motif of the original game for one of a more medieval fantasy style. There's lots of secrets and characters to talk to in this game, giving Monsterland a much deeper experience than Wonder Boy. 1987 PC Engine, Bikuriman World. Shortly after Monsterland was released in arcade, in a move similar to what they did with Wonder Boy and Adventure Island, Hudson obtained the rights to Monsterland's game engine, but this time reskinned it with characters from the anime Bikuriman. This anime was based on a line of wafer snacks. What the fuck? Bikuriman World is just a reskin of Monsterland. 1988 Arcade, Wonder Boy 3, Monster Lair. For the follow-up to Monsterland, Westone created Monster Lair, a much more traditional arcade experience. The light RPG elements are out, and a forced scroller / horizontal shooter vibe is now implemented. Each stage now has two parts, a forced scroller section with very light platforming, followed by something akin to a horizontal shooter. Both sections involve gathering weapon upgrades like a shooter would, all the while also gathering fruit to increase the time bar lest the player die. 1989, Sega Master System. Okay, things are definitely getting weird now. Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap, also known in Japan as Monster World 2. Yes, you heard that right, this is the second game named Wonder Boy 3. It has nothing to do with Wonder Boy 3 Monster Lair. This is a brand new game. This game returns to the medieval fantasy platforming adventure game style with light RPG elements similar to Monsterland, but unlike Monsterland's arcade style levels, the world of Dragon's Trap is one large explorable land with dungeons and secrets dotting the landscape. The game is like some sort of proto-Metroidvania. For me, this is where the Wonder Boy series really found its footing. The game was ported to a number of other systems in the day and received an incredible HD remastered from Lizardcube in 2017. 1990, PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16, Dragon's Curse. Dragon's Curse is a reskin of Dragon's Trap published by Hudson Soft on the PC Engine. It was also ported by Tectoy as Turma de Monica M.O. Rescate for Brazilian audiences. These are both just straight up reskins, completely ditching the Wonder Boy name. 1991, Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, Wonder Boy in Monster World, also known in Japan as... oh my god. Wonder Boy 5, Monster World 3. Jesus fucking Christ, you guys. Monster World was developed by Westone for the Mega Drive and fully solidifies the series' dive into action-adventure pseudo-Metroidvania territory. There is so much to see and do in this game that it is just absolutely unreal. The game has these beautiful, colorful graphics and a charming musical score. For me, this is peak Wonder Boy. 1991, Nintendo Famicom / NES, Adventure Island 2. Hudson Soft would hire Now Production to develop the sequel to Adventure Island. The game is a lot like the first Adventure Island, but refines the gameplay loop of the run and jump and eat fruit and don't die gameplay of the first game. Added to the game is a world map. It's not interactive or anything, but it's still fun to look at. You can now also save your weapons and new dinosaur mounts in between levels, as opposed to bringing them from level to level with you. A very nice upgrade from the original formula. 1992, Super Famicom / SNES, Super Adventure Island. Jumping to the Super Famicom, we then get Super Adventure Island. This is a new game in the series and the first to appear on the SNES. The game was developed by Produce and published by Hudson Soft. The game doesn't really offer anything new to the Adventure Island series. 1992, PC Engine / TurboGrafx-16, New Adventure Island. Later in 92, Hudson Soft once again hired Now Production, this time to create a new Adventure Island game for the PC Engine. Like Super Adventure Island, New Adventure Island doesn't really do anything new to improve on the Adventure Island series. 1992, Famicom / NES, Adventure Island 3. Hudson's third Adventure Island title in 1992 is Adventure Island 3. Moving away from the SNES, this game actually goes back to the NES. This game takes the updated concepts of Adventure Island 2 and refines them even further. The game isn't as explorative as what the Wonder Boy games became, but the levels are much larger and the platforming is much tighter. This might be my favorite of the Adventure Island games. 1994, Sega Mega Drive, Monster World 4. Dropping the Wonder Boy title entirely, Monster World 4 would be the final title in the series. It swaps out the medieval fantasy settings for a style a bit more Arabian influenced. You now play as a female character named Asha. Should have just called her Wonder Girl, but whatever. On another almost a Metroidvania style quest. Her fighting style is a bit more advanced than the previous game, as she can stab upwards and downward, and has a sidekick in Pepelagu, a small flying creature that you can use to help solve puzzles and glide around with. This game would not make it to the Western world until it arrived on the Wii Virtual Console in 2012. 1994, Famicom, Takahashi Meijin no Bokunjima 4. The follow-up to Adventure Island 3, and once again snubbing the SNES to appear on the rapidly aging Famicom, Takahashi Meijin no Bokunjima 4 is the final game in the NES Adventure Island tetralogy. This game completely ditches the run and jump action of the first three Adventure Island games and adopts a more pseudo-Metroidvania style akin to the later Monster World titles. This game was never released in the West, which is a shame because it looks pretty good. 1994, Super Famicom / SNES, Super Adventure Island 2. Also appearing in 1994 is Super Adventure Island 2 for the Super Famicom / SNES. This game was made by Make Software Inc. for Hudson Soft and is very much like the latter-day Monster World games, with a huge world to explore, items and gear to find, and a heavier reliance on attempting to have a story. 1994, PC Engine Duo / Turbo Duo, Dynastic Hero. Dynastic Hero is a reskin of Wonder Boy and Monster World that Hudson Soft released on NEC's PC Engine Duo / Turbo Duo. It adds new music and characters, but fam, it is just Wonder Boy and Monster World. 2018, on just about everything, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. After a 14-year gap, Wonder Boy has returned. Wait, hang on, no, this is Monster Boy. Developed by Game Atelier and published by FDG Entertainment on loads of modern consoles, Monster Boy is a spiritual successor to the Wonder Boy series. It began life as a sequel to Game Atelier's Flying Hamster game, but they later partnered with LAT Corp to adapt the title as an official Wonder Boy game. While not called Wonder Boy, Monster Boy does contain loads of callbacks, characters, music, and ideas from Wonder Boy, Monsterland, Monster World, and Monster World 4. And that is the absolutely insane chronology of this chaos. Wonder Boy, Adventure Island, spin-offs, reskins, and so much more. The legacy of Wonder Boy is a sprawling leviathan. And there are even some titles I left out. Hudson Soft released a lot of Adventure Island spin-offs and remakes that can only be found on long-dead Japanese mobile phones, compilations that are no longer available, and an attempted reboot on WiiWare. Remember WiiWare? But for the most part, this is just about all of the main titles in this series-spawning series. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope that this didn't give you a headache. I'm gonna go take some pills and have a lay down. For RPG Fortress, I'm Richard. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, bell, etc. Hit ko-fi.com/RPG Fortress if you want to support the channel with a couple of bucks. And most importantly, don't forget to hug a cat. See you soon. Goodbye.